I've been asked the question pretty often, how heavy is Lionheart? Lionheart's only about 35 to 40 pounds. I had to figure out where as a human was going to exist. The first time I wore it was awful.
One step at a time.
I can either try and hide what happened to me, or instead I can use it as a focal point, really, right? I've always been fascinated with video games, and I've always been really interested in the process of taking something from a video game or a fantasy world and kind of pulling it into our reality. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi and fantasy, and Overwatch is interesting because it kind of bridges that. There was this character that I felt a connection to. I felt a bond. That character was Reinhardt. It wasn't that he was missing his left eye, but his left eye was severely damaged and he was blind in his left eye. Picking the costume that I wanted to do, the very first instinct was, man, wouldn't it be cool to make a Reinhardt? It was around that time that I heard about the TwitchCon cosplay contest. So I had decided not only was I going to make a Reinhardt for myself, I was going to compete in the contest. In 2014, I had a pretty life-changing event happen. As you guys can see, I'm missing my left eye. While I was working in the shop, casting some clear pieces that day for a friend, the lid cracked and it actually came up and hit me in the face. And it destroyed my left eye. The thing that really is affected most by the loss of one eye when it comes to my work, it's specifically the depth perception. It's important to not necessarily think about the things that I can't do because of the accident, but instead try to figure out ways of doing the things that I want to do. After we figured out that building Reinhardt really was kind of possible and the feet weren't going to be a problem, it was then really time for me to actually get into the development of the model. A lot of the elements of Lionheart are vacuum formed. With a costume like Reinhardt, I had to figure out where I, as a human, was going to exist in this costume. I wanted the elbows to bend. I didn't want Frankenstein arms.
Try reaching out all the way to your right side. Yeah. Is that a good extension wrap?
We had taken a bunch of bungee cords actually and wound them up to act kind of like muscles and attach them from the shoulder to the wrist. I've been asked the question pretty often, how heavy is Lionheart, right? Lionheart's only about 35 to 40 pounds. The majority of that weight is actually in the feet. And so the first time I wore it was awful.
You should walk more. Walk up and walk down.
I can't see.
It's okay, just walk towards me. There we go.
Oh. No, not there you go.
There we go, yeah.
This is bad. If I had to give you an actual build time, I would say right around 2 months. So the LED eye was actually something I made before Lionheart. It was more of a proof of concept. I was like, man, I wonder if we could fit an LED in there. Then you have to think though, how do you power the LED? There is not a battery in the prosthetic eye. We did a bunch of testing with different types of wires. I can either try and hide what happened to me, or instead I can use it as a focal point, really, right? Our entire lead up to the contest was just no sleep. 2 days before the contest, we started painting and finished that morning. And then we wore the costume for the contest that day.
Now it's my pleasure to announce the winner.
Come on.
The grand prize winner is Hoku Props as Reinhardt from Overwatch!
We never thought we were gonna win the contest. And right when they announced me as the winner, I like thrust my arm up to be like, yeah, right? And my shoulder pad falls off. The whole thing was completely surreal, right? Feeling like I was happy, I was tired, I was just in awe and in shock. The prizes were $15,000 for the grand prize. I feel like without that costume, I really wouldn't be where I am today. Just because you might have something that looks different than others, it doesn't make you weird, it doesn't make you less than. It doesn't make you ugly. It validated the fact that I could actually continue. I could actually live, and not only live, but I could succeed. I don't regret really anything, even to the extent of saying I don't regret the fact that my accident even happened, because it shaped who I am, and I'm really only in the place I'm in right now because of something like that happening. Why would I want to change it, you know?